Welcome back to Bangers Bricks, everybody. My name is Ben. In today's video, we're going to talk about a few of our most recent purchases, one of the biggest sets I've purchased, as well as looking at taking a different approach to displaying some of our minifigures within our Lego room. Very excited. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Here we go. In our last video, I briefly mentioned that we were purchasing this large set and it finally came in the mail. And as you can see, it came in 1,000,000 pieces. Obviously a very hard set to ship. And when it came, you guys, it was just broken all over the place. We had so many different pieces that were broken, but finally the Ghostbusters HQ is here. And as I mentioned, a lot of the pieces were broken. So we did have to go to our local Bricks and Minifigs, just get some of the dark red and some of the brown pieces on the backside that were broken. Really the big pieces that were broken were just primarily like the hinges. Anytime you get that crazy dark red or brown color, you run that high risk of some of those pieces just shattering. So very excited to get this set. As I mentioned before too, it's not just the set that we received, but we actually received 2 of the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 vehicles. So very excited to add those to the collection. And then it also came with all of the assorted minifigures. So definitely a lot that we have to display somehow. Hint, hint, we'll be talking about that in a second. But recently we've also purchased a lot of other minifigures. So we purchased one of the Fortnite sets, the Battle Bus, and I kept the minifigs but sold the Battle Bus just to, again, have these for the display because I really think they're cool. And then we also purchased the Lego Series 2. Lego Series 1 is actually on the way. We've purchased that as well. Doc and Marty. And then we also have the Marvel Series 1, Marvel Series 2, and then we do have some Sonic minifigures as well. A couple other random minifigures that used to be in our Iron Man display box, kind of took those out. And then our other big purchase most recently was the Quickie Mart. So I have really started, and as you kind of see, the theme is we have a lot of Ghostbusters. We have a lot of Simpsons minifigures and sets. So building up here for the Krusty Burger, which is coming soon. It sounds like 2025 is the year, and I'm very excited for it. So we're kind of building up, and as you can see, we have so many minifigures to display. And I don't want to continue to create and build all of these shadow boxes because I think it's going to look kind of goofy. And again, your measurements are going to have to be perfect as you're displaying them on your walls to make sure that they're equal distance apart. And again, I know it's doable, but something that I want to continue to improve upon. We'll be keeping our shadow box for our Iron Man minifigures as, again, looks great. Spent a lot of time on it. I really enjoy it. What we're going to talk about is building a wall-mounted display. And I'm super excited for this. This is acrylic. It has a dark black background. I'll put a picture up here just as to what it looks like, but everything so far looks great. I literally just opened the box. Comes with some different instructions. Again, this is the Display Go or Display Go, I guess, but definitely have a bunch of different variations, and again, kind of just gives you some of the different ideas of how you can display your Lego minifigures. So let's break this open. So got everything open. Everything looks great so far. I will say that I'm probably a little biased since I haven't opened anything from Shop Hop Display or some of the larger retailers for wall mount displays, but this looks great. It's very detailed. Love the complimentary free inserts for the 1x1 rounds or the 1x1 studs here. We have some other pieces that are going to help us mount it to the wall here. Some other Technic pieces that are going to help keep some of the different shelving together. So definitely excited. Also really cool that he actually included an extra piece just in case something breaks. So super excited to get some of the different sides, tops together and put everything onto the backers that we have. So let's get started.
Last night got a little out of hand, look at my hands did. I fell off a soapbox, I can't understand it. I've been on a tangent, here on this planet. Now I'm on a transit to anywhere else now. Headed for a breakdown, need a little break now. What else can I say about what I've done and what I'm gonna do?
So as I continue to go throughout some of the different pieces, I really like this little backer that it comes on, primarily just because it kind of keeps some of those different fingerprints off, but honestly, it's kind of soothing, just peeling it off the entire thing. Every once in a while, you run into it where it starts like ripping and whatnot, but after a while, you kind of get used to it and it just peels right off. I am thankful that I did not cut my fingernails, so if you are looking to buy one, just make sure you don't clip your fingernails the day before, just because obviously getting it started can be a little tricky if you don't have any fingernails to kind of pry underneath it, but otherwise Looks great, keeps it clean. Let's see how it turns out. All right, everybody, we are moving along here. We have most of the front side on our backer here. Everything's looking pretty solid. We do have 5 rows here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the bottom row would be 5. And then as you can see on here, again, I know this is meant to hold about 100 minifigures, so we are right in that vicinity. We have so groups of 2 different studs here, adds up to 36 little holes here, 36 studs, so 18 minifigures per row. So we're not quite getting to the 100 mark. We're right at the 90 mark. Still a decent amount of minifigures to be able to fit into our sections here, but overall, again, I think it's going to look phenomenal. The other thing I wanted to briefly just mention is really how everything is being held together with the wall mount display. I know when you look at like Shop Pop display, this isn't necessarily something that I see with all of the different versions, but something that is definitely a little unique in the fact that they are utilizing kind of like the little washer piece along with, I believe it's considered like an axle piece, but definitely a little Technic piece that you see with a lot of different sets. I think it looks pretty good. Honestly, I'm not terribly worried about it. I think in the front, it looks a little goofy, but I do think that we can kind of just exchange some of the different colored pieces, like the axle piece. Even if we can try to use black or use all gray, I think it's just not going to be quite as noticeable. But otherwise, again, looks phenomenal. And now it's just time to head to the Lego store or Bricks and Minifigs, just because we do not have any 1x1 round black studs. So here we go. Back from the Lego store, got all of the studs inserted into our little shelf mounts here. This was honestly probably the hardest part. I thought it was really nice. I ended up going with the 1x1 round black studs. We actually ended up having to go to Bricks and Minifigs locally here in South Carolina just to find them. But I think it was a great choice just because it's not going to stand out like using like white or red or anything. I kind of want it to be a little bit more low profile underneath some of the different minifigures. But got all those inserted, and again, that was probably the toughest part. My fingers are killing me, but I think it looks great. Definitely excited to get all these minifigures on here. Before we do that, we do have to take off our backer here, and then we will get them put in the shelves and put the face on here. So let's clear all these minifigures out and make it look nice again. We finally have all the minifigures in here, and I have to say I am very excited to display this in our new house when it's done being built. All the minifigures in here looks great. Again, only holds 90, not quite 100, but I do think that this is just a phenomenal purchase. And I'll talk a little bit more about pricing after I just do a brief overview of the quality on this. Again, the backer on this is nice and thick, very supportive, as well as the front. I think everything overall is pretty tight, especially with these little Technic pins. I think that does an okay job of holding everything together. On the inside, I do like that what the minifigure's on, that little platform that the minifigure's on, is loose, because if I ever want to change my displays out, like if I want to just have one full display mount or wall mount display of just Simpsons, I can just take that entire row out instead of having to take every single individual Simpsons minifigure out. So again, overall, I couldn't ask for a ton more with this, and definitely have a solid review for this Display Go product. That being said, the only thing, and I mentioned this previously, is that I would just change the color or the way that these things are pinned down. Again, I think it's solid. It's not going anywhere. Just the fact that these red axle pins really stick out when you're looking at the display case. So overall, great quality. But yeah, please don't mind. We are actually doing laundry right now, so this is on our bed. But do want to talk just a little bit more about price. Last thing my son really wanted to mention in the video is that we did go to the Lego store. We got the Captain America vs. Red Hulk battle. The only downside, I know other wall mount displays, you can't necessarily fit the big figs. So again, definitely something we're going to have to come up with something else for these. But again, besides that, quality's great. The last thing I want to talk about before we sign off today is how much are you going to pay for a wall mount display such as the one that we built today versus how much you're going to pay if you go to maybe a more well-established wall mount display company such as like Shop Pop Display. For the Display Go, or Display Go, I guess I'm probably saying it wrong, the one that we picked, again, it was 5 tiers. It was 18 minifigures wide, so it was about 90 minifigures. For this one, I paid $129.99 with free shipping. And honestly, the owner, the guy who builds it, is the one who messages you, and he was really nice. You could pick different background colors, whether you want it clear, black, red, whatever you want. Definitely something you can just message him and he will customize it to however you want it. So had a great experience. If you go to somebody like Shop Hop Display, not that you won't have a bad experience, from a cost perspective, it is $190. For $190, you do get 96 minifigures. So instead of 90, it's 96 minifigures, but you are going to pay $190 for that wall mount display. Again, I'm sure that it's a great product, but it's not only $190. You are actually paying $20 minimum for shipping with that wall mount display from Shop Hop Display. So $210 versus $130. And honestly, the quality of this one I thought was great. Don't really have a ton of gripes with it, so very excited. Definitely going to be another purchase coming up here in the future, especially getting some of the Disney minifigures into a new display case is going to be top of mind here, so definitely excited for that. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Look forward to creating some more content here in the future. Please make sure you guys like, subscribe, drop comments down. Let me know what you guys think of this wall mount display case, and if you guys have any other better experience, or if you guys have had some bad experience with certain companies, I would love to make sure that we can kind of get this information out to all of the LEGO collectors to make sure that everybody is having a great experience.